All right, making this YouTube video. Um, this is my first video that I'm making, but I'm making this video not only to inform the people about the stuff that I've been put through in the last couple of years, but also to shed a little light on some technology that's out there that started with the military, but now local police officers have access to this technology. And believe it or not, the Nipsey Hussle murder, it seemed real suspect to me. I grew up in that neighborhood on 48. And shout out to all my folks over there. Shout out to the Slauson boys. But at the same time, um, it's just it just don't sound right. But in any event, everybody or all of these like random shootings and stuff like that, they always come back and say that they had mental health issues. I was looking at this video of the Uber driver shooter. This dude didn't have no criminal record, didn't have no history of mental illness, and just tripped out and riding around shooting people while he's still driving, for Uber. That's crazy. But at any event, he was saying that he was being controlled by the devil through his Uber app. And that just sounds to me like remote neural monitoring. If you look it up, if you Google it, you just Google RNM, remote neural as in nerves monitoring. They have some technology now that shit is just crazy. It's incredible, but the bottom line is the future is here. The future is here. I was falsely arrested, and because I'm a single dad, my then 11-year-old son was placed in foster care. I was arrested falsely because I was writing government agencies about this technology being used on me when I was in prison. And then got released and met these two females. And turns out these females were one of them at least, was put on me to try to get evidence against me for doing something wrong. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I was coming home, got back on my feet, got a job, got an apartment. My son's grandparents had him, but I'd already had full custody, so they went to court and got temporary guardianship. And they know me. They know I handle my business when I'm home. Virgo, very serious, older, so I handle my shit. My kid depends on me. Now my older son, he has his mother. My younger son, his mother is not really that much in his life. She was having some problems, and I took my son as a baby at 2 years old, and I told her to go on and handle her business. And I just been taking care of him ever since. And he's 16 now. But at any event, when he was 11, they falsely arrested me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that remember my face, just like I'm sure that there's a lot of people in that county jail that remember me. Now, I moved out of Los Angeles to Lancaster, California, in probably like November 2013. I was on probation for a firearm, but ex-girlfriend of mine, and this was a white girl, and this is why my sister kind of pissed off, I guess, whatever, I don't know. But it was a white girl that I was messing with, and whenever I come home, I always date a lot of different women until I get off parole. I always get off parole in 13 months. And then, I'll the one that's best for me, I'll kind of pursue a relationship with that one. And this girl, she was kind of like trying to she was trying to do all the right things, but at the same time, she had ulterior motives. Come to find out that she was working for the police. They put her on me to, I don't know, to catch me doing something. But the thing was, I wasn't doing nothing. I moved out to Lancaster. I got my business license, taking care of my boy, got an apartment, furnished apartment, everything. And I was only out there from probably late November, mid-December of 2013 until I was arrested. No, you know what? I didn't move out there until March 2014. Yeah, March 2014. But I was staying with my mom's in Los Angeles after coming home, but I was dealing with a whole lot of mess because they was harassing me. This girl was messing with this police officer that was the investigating detective on my case. And what it was is I'm an ex-felon, but I had a gun in my house. We were getting followed, me and my son at an apartment, my youngest son, with my apartment, he's staying with me. And my oldest son will come over on the weekends, but I'm getting followed around. And, I'm a black man, grew up in Los Angeles, California. So I know how to spot a tail. I've always had cars that had rims and stuff on them. So, you learn how to watch for certain things. And I would notice that these people were following me, different cars sometimes and stuff, but I didn't know what was going on. So went and got a gun. And then what had happened is that I ended up getting caught with that gun. Me and this girl got into it. She was at my house. And I'm flipping out over who in the hell is following me, why they following me, and what's going on. And all along, it's the police that's following me. Plainclothes police. But these police were working with criminals, and just it's a whole big old mess. But the reason why they were following me and everything is because I was illegally experimented while in jail with this technology, and they were making money off of this technology and the use of me. They I don't know, added some or features or whatever, and then they got a federal patent, and then they sold this. And I let this woman right here, bam, let this woman. Now, this is a picture that popped up on my Facebook, and it looks exactly like this woman, Jacqueline Joanne Zabala, whose sister, Patty, has something to do with LA Sheriff's Department. I don't know if she's a sheriff or she just worked for the Sheriff's Department or whatever, but this woman was the in-home nurse for my son's grandparents that was watching him while I ended up going to jail for the pistol. So I only did 16 months, so I came home. Now, when I came home, and it was September 2009 when I came home, ended up dating and meeting this girl, Adriana Mariah Tessick, and she stayed in Carson, California. But I was just dating her. She was dating other dudes too, just like she knew I was dating other women, and everything was cool. And we always had this agreement that if either one of us ever got into a relationship, we would still be friends. I know how to respect somebody's relationship, and I hope that she would do the same thing. And she seemed pretty cool, pretty level-headed, so it was cool. We were smashing, we go out and stuff like that. But she knew I was doing my thing with other women, just like I knew she was doing her thing with other dudes. But at any event, this woman, Jacqueline, was in-home care nurse for my son's grandparents. And he ended up, the grandfather ended up having a stroke. And he had a stroke. He was paralyzed on the left side, and he lost his eyesight too. So it was good that I was home because now I have to go to court, terminate the temporary guardianship, and get my son back because his grandfather is having health problems. So, but at the same time, when we going back to court and everything, right before I get my son granted back to me, or we terminate the guardianship, then I get sick. I have Crohn's disease. So let me show you this. I have Crohn's disease and I had a operation where they cut on my stomach, and I had all these stitches and staples in my stomach. And Crohn's disease is just you have to watch what you eat, you have to exercise. I forgot weights over there, work out, and then just a lot of stuff that I can't eat. Try to stay away from red meat, stuff like that, mostly chicken, turkey, stuff like that, but fish. But I ended up in the hospital. And when I ended up in the hospital, I stayed in the hospital for a month, this operation. But once I got out the hospital, I had already put money down on an apartment. I already bought me a car, already had me a job, but I was staying at my mother's house in Los Angeles. So I already put money down on an apartment, but they was remodeling the apartment. So in the midst of them remodeling the apartment, this is when I ended up going to the hospital. But first month rent was already paid and deposit and everything. So it was just a matter of when they finished, then I move in. But once I got out the hospital, then I went back to stay with my mom's, so she can nurse me back to health or help nurse me back to health. And then my niece was staying over there. But she would go to work, and come back home and everything. But at the same time, then I ended up going to court and they terminated the guardianship. So I have my son. So now my son is staying with me at my mom's house. And it's right by Dorsey High School, around the corner from Cienega. He was going to Cienega Elementary. And this is the elementary that I went to when I was a kid. But at any event, I got a lot of help from a lot of females, got a lot of female friends. So, because I was stepping up to the plate and taking care of my son by myself, there was a lot of females that were looking out for me. Plus, I've always been cool with all my ex-girlfriends. If it just didn't work out, then that's okay. But I always remained friends with all my ex-girlfriends. Well, by them illegally experimenting on me, they set out to ruin my credibility, kind of isolate me. I guess because I was complaining, writing to government agencies, and I got a gang of letters. I got all this paperwork up here because I'm gonna just be showing you guys stuff periodically, and then I'll post all this stuff where you guys could read through it yourself, whatever. I ended up getting an apartment, letting this girl, Jacqueline Zavala, stay with me because she became homeless, and her and my son's grandmother got into it, and that might have been staged, I don't know, but they got into it, and they ended up kicking her out. Now, she was staying on the couch. They ended up kicking her out. But this was all at the time when I just got out the hospital, so I just got the staples and the stitches removed out of my stomach, but I'm still, I can't, doctors telling me it's going to be a year before I kind of start feeling, getting my health back together. And it's going to be possibly 2 years before my stomach completely heal up. They say they cut through, you got layers of meat in your stomach and everything, and each layer has to heal up. So I was like, all right, cool. But I've never been that type of dude to just sit around. I stay active, I stay working, and I stay hustling. So since I took my son over and raising my youngest son, I just stopped illegally hustling. It wasn't cool anyways, but at an event, I needed some help. I needed somebody to help me with my son while I nurse myself back to health. Now, this girl ended up getting kicked out. And when she got kicked out, then I was like, okay, well, this is an opportunity. She can help me and I can help her, So I ended up moving into my apartment, and she was actually, I don't know, hanging out on the roof and in the laundry room of my son's grandparents' apartment building. And so, I went and got, I'm like, look, I need some help with my son. and I'm trying to get my business. I was studying to learn. I draw, and do T-shirts and logos and stuff like that. So I was uh, learning how to get licensed and set up an internet business. And so I'm studying all of this, and by me having an operation, this would be a good time for me to sit down and I could be studying all of that while I'm trying to get everything together. But at any event, she was like, "Yeah, I need a place to stay." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you can stay with me until you find somewhere to go." And this would give me a little time to recuperate, but also help her out. So I thought everything was cool. I moved in my place. She moved in. She was sleeping on my couch. Everything was cool. And then I don't know. I just kind of felt like it felt like she wasn't grinding, and the grind that she was on wasn't something that I wanted to fuck with. Now, we wasn't in no relationship or nothing, and she knew that I'd still talk to females on the phone and everything, but me and her did smash a couple of times. And we ended up smashing before I even moved, before I even got my place and before I even got sick and went to the hospital. But at any event, you know, it just seemed like she was on some slick shit. And I've been around a whole lot of slick people, and I've been in prison, born and raised. Well, not born, but been in LA since I was like 2 years old. Born in Northern California, but been in LA since I was like 2 years old. So if I ain't done it, I ain't seen it or heard about it. So all the little bullshit she was trying to do, I'm like, come on, man, stupid shit. But she trying to get me to slang dope, to talking about she got friends and all this and that. Bitch, I'm not on that. You see what I do every day. Every day I'm on my computer and I'm writing, I'm reading, learning about this business stuff and how to operate a legal business. But she's steadily trying to turn me to that negative shit. I'm like, man, I'm cool on that. But she didn't have no car. She had a cell phone that she had to put minutes on. I went and got a little bullshit ass Metro PCS phone. And so I wasn't really tripping. I ain't never been the type to trip off no small shit. So I let her, use the phone whenever she wanted to. All along, this bitch putting spyware programs on my phone, and she contacting some of the bras that I was messing with, like trying to tell them that we in a relationship. And she ended up contacting the white girl, Adriana Mariah Tessick. She ended up contacting her, but she was texting her one night. I was asleep. And I take a nap, like after I pick up my son from school and help him with his homework. And sometimes I make some food, and then he cool, he can eat, and then he'll sit and play his video game or watch cable TV, watch little cartoon shows and stuff, and then I'll take me a little nap and I'll wake up, because every time I took them painkillers, it make me sleepy, so I go to sleep for a couple of hours. But and this is why I needed her there, to just kind of watch things, making my son was young. He was like 6-7 years old. So, I needed somebody to be there. And his brother only come over on the weekends. So what ended up happening is that she was on some slick shit. This bitch bringing drugs in the house and hiding them from me. She's trying to turn my son against me, like whispering a little bullshit. But I lace my boys. My sons are 10 years apart. So right now, my youngest son that stay with me, he's 16, and then his brother that's in California is 26. But I lace them. I'm the youngest out of 7, so I got older brothers and sisters. So like I say, I'm been through and seen a whole lot of shit. But at the same time, my son know to come talk to me. So, he telling me little shit like that. She mad at you. She's saying bad stuff to me about you. And I'm like, really? I'm like, what's up with that? I'm like, you on some bullshit trying to use my kid? I'm like, nah, I don't. And then come to find out, when her moms and her brother came over, that she got 5 kids that the mother got because she ain't got her shit together. in time. She fucking around with drugs and all this and that. And so, and that around this same time, then this is when I discovered that she was hiding drugs in my house and shit. But what happened is that I ended up taking a nap after I picked my son up from school and everything, and got him some food. I took a nap, but before I went to sleep, I set my cell phone for 6 o'clock, and I never forget the Lakers was playing San Antonio Spurs, and it's when Kobe was still playing, of course, and so I wanted to see the game. So I nodded out probably like about 4 o'clock, and I was going to get a couple of hours and then get up and watch the game. Well, apparently she didn't know that I set the alarm on my phone, so I take a little nap laying on my couch, and then the phone went off, and I woke up. And when I woke up, from my couch, I can look and see in my son's room, and I could see him sitting on his bed playing his game or watching TV. So when I looked, I didn't see him. So then I got up and I walked in the kitchen, didn't see him. And as I'm going like towards the bathroom, then I hear him and her talking. So I'm getting closer, and then I turn into the bathroom. They in a bathtub. This bitch is asshole naked. This bitch right here. And I don't know if this is her, but this looked exactly like her face. And this is a picture that ended up on my Facebook. And what it says, I don't care if you tell everyone what I have done to you, but please don't forget to tell them what you done to me. Yeah, bitch, putting you out my house because you a potential pedophile and shit and hiding drugs in my house, and you know I'm on parole, and I just got my son back, the court system, and DCFF, Children's Services got to come periodically and do checks and all this stupid shit. This bitch on some bullshit. If my parole officer come in there in my apartment and look around, make sure I ain't got no gun because I was on parole after having a gun. If he come in my house and search around, and then if DCFS come in and search around my house and they end up finding her drugs, what she has stashed in the toilet, in the top part of the toilet, where you lift the top of the toilet, the back part of the toilet off, drugs and crystal meth. And I mean, not drugs, but crystal meth and needles, a bag of needles. I'm like, oh, this bitch on some bullshit, you know? I'm like, so I'm pissed off. And I'm like, look, you're going to have to step it up. You're going to have to get on the phone and call somewhere where you got to go, because I can't have you here because, you know, you put my whole little lifestyle in jeopardy and shit, and I can't deal with that. You know, my kid, you know, he don't really got nobody but me. You know, if I take a fall, and I did that on him already, take a fall, he don't really got nobody. Now, my baby mama, she got a twin brother, but they was in Lancaster. So it's like, but him and his wife had some little issues. So, you know, it's like I have to beg DCFS to let him go with them, you know, and they've been kind of cool with that. You know, they try to keep him with a family member, you know, so it's cool. But at the same time, it's just, you know, it's time for me to step my shit up and stop messing up. So I was on that. But the same night that I'm telling her, I'm like, look, you need to be up out of here by tomorrow night. You know, well, this bitch take my phone and texting the white girl and Carson. She texting her, telling her, look, acting like she me, but saying, I got a girlfriend. She stayed with me, so don't call my phone no more and don't text me no more. And they texting back and forth, but the white girl thinks she texting me, which is kind of weirdo because I only text like, hey, what's up? Can I hit you? You know, and then it's like, I'm a call. I'm not going to be doing all the typing and all that shit. I'm not that good. I peck type. So, you know, I'm not going to be doing all that. I'd rather call. So she should have known something was up then. She going back and forth having a conversation by texting. She should know better. You know, that ain't me. That ain't how I get out. So, but she didn't. She ended up arguing back and forth. And it's like, this broad sent from my phone 7 messages and she replied, you know, to the messages and stuff. So, And this was all when I was asleep. But then I woke up like maybe 11 o'clock, checked on my boy. This bitch sleep on the floor. And so I ain't tripping. But then all of a sudden, like about 2 o'clock, and I'm reading and doing stuff for my business about 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I get a text like, fuck you, you an asshole and all this. I'm like, damn, where this shit coming from? And so it's the white girl. And so then I'm like, where all this coming from? She was like, motherfucker, you on some bullshit. When I'm gonna get my CDs? And I'm like, yeah, I got your CDs and that's cool. I can bring them to you, but where's all this coming from? And so she was like, we always said that if either one of us get into a relationship, that we still gonna remain friends. Now you ain't got into a relationship, and now you telling me don't call you, don't text you no more, and all that. That's some bullshit. And I'm like looking at this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, I text her back. I'm like, I ain't never told you that, and you already know that we've already discussed this about if either one of us get into a relationship. So what makes you think that I would just flip the script out of the little time that you don't know me? I ain't never like flipped the script on you like that. In fact, you was telling me, and that's why that you wanted to be in a relationship, because I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. And that was the issue that we had, is like we going out or something like that, going, to the movies or something like that. I'm stopping at the liquor store before I jump on the freeway and get my little cigars, get my beer, whatever. But she want me to stay on the phone while I'm driving out there, because she done met a lot of dudes online and all this and that. They say they coming to get her and never show up. Okay, well that's these other dudes, bitch. You got me twisted. I'm not. If I'm not coming, I'm gonna tell you I'm not coming. Who are you? I gotta lie to you. If I say that, well, I'm cool on you or whatever, I'm gonna let you know that. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not one of these bullshit ass motherfuckers, but you should know that I'm a single dad. So it's, I got to always step up my game, but I really got to be cautious about bullshit, but we went through that a couple of times, and I'm like, look, you can't trust me, then what you fucking with me for? And it was another incident where I picked her up, and then we was going to the store, going somewhere, but I smoked cigars, like Habatampas with the cherry tips or Swishers and stuff like that. But I stopped at the store, and I told her to go in the store and give me a cigar and give me some beer, give me a can of beer, 24 can of beer, and buy you something. I gave her a $20 bill. So she hopped out the car, and her purse was still sitting in the passenger seat. And she get out, go get everything, get back in, and then I'm pulling off and everything. And then she looked down and saw that her purse, she left her purse in the car. And so she was like, damn. So instantly she grabbed her wallet out and she opened her wallet and she checked and she was like, oh, damn, all my money's still here. And I'm like, what you mean by that? And she was like, oh, I had situations where I get out the car and come back and my money be gone. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's the type of motherfucker that you fucking with.